How's it going, everyone? It's me, Lone, back with another Fallout 76 video. I'm speaking a little bit softly because my wife is asleep in the other room, but I want to make a video because tomorrow, at least at the time of this recording, there's a bunch of great new stuff coming to 76, whether it's One Wasteland, legendary perks, the new season, or daily ops. There's a bunch of new content coming to the game, so I think it's a great time for me to be making a little bit more content than I usually do, especially because next week I am moving, so it's going to be tough for me to make videos then. So I'm trying to make a bunch now. And the thing that I can do now, and what I've been kind of planning for the past couple of days, is my builds, because as you know, legendary perks is mixing things up a little bit, and I will have a dedicated video on legendary perks and me actually showing you with a level 300 character equipping all of the perk card slots, ranking some of the perk cards up and stuff like that. So that's going to be the next video after this one. But for now, I just want to kind of show you what my rough plan is with my build using Nukes and Dragons, which is linked in the description below. And I'm trying to go for, it used to be a single solitary, heavy gun power armor user build. And then it changed to a mix between regular armor and power armor. And now it's 3. Because of my last video, I got really excited. Now it is a mix between like a regular armor user, a power armor user, and also a sneak build, but still a heavy guns user across the board. And I change it as I need to. I'll show you in a second, but if you enjoyed this video, please like it. I'd really appreciate it. Comment below if you have any questions at all. But for now, let's get to my brand new build in preparation for the new patch coming to Fallout 76. Alrighty, so here is my new special spread that I'm planning for my character in time for the update tomorrow. And again, to reiterate, it's rotating between just being a regular normal armor user, being a sneak user, and then being in power armor. So as I explain this, I'll tell you which perk cards I leave in, which ones that I swap in and out, just depending on what I'm doing. And I'm using heavy guns that have the bloodied and explosive legendary effect, so keep that in mind. So naturally, because I'm a heavy guns user, I still have all the 3 heavy gunner perk cards to increase my damage as much as possible. Yes, it's operating slightly differently now in the new update, but I still want most damage. Then blocker has become so important to me. Having reduced damage from my opponents' melee attacks has meant the difference between dying and not dying for me, especially in a colossal problem with Wendigo spawns, or just dealing with ghouls as I'm playing the game normally and the areas that I like to go farm in. So many enemies deal melee damage, so having blocker is so important to me. I will never unequip that, if I can anyways, anymore. And then, because of legendary perks, and I should explain that, I have an additional kind of boost here of 3 for strength, 1 for endurance, and 3 for luck. And that's just because of the legendary perks that I currently have equipped in Nukes and Dragons. So I will do a separate video on legendary perks again, but for now, this is what I have, and I'll explain those legendary perks in a second. But because of that, I can equip another perk card here. So usually it's either lock and load to make my heavy guns reload faster, and that's probably when I'm trying to deal a lot of damage with my Gauss minigun, for instance. But if I'm just playing the game normally, I'll probably just have traveling pharmacy, because I carry so many chems, and having that weight reduction is really nice. Barbarian is something that I think about if I do need slightly more damage resistance, out of power armor of course, and maybe when I'm trying to sneak around a little bit, but it doesn't get much use from me nowadays. It's usually lock and load or traveling pharmacy. Then when it comes to perception, don't really have any good perk cards that I use here. I usually keep Green Thumb in at all times because I love getting twice as much flora when I'm harvesting without needing to swap in and out the perk card. But if I want some more energy resistance, I'll put in Refractor. If I want to be able to concentrate fire in VATS on a head, for instance, I'll use Concentrated Fire. If I want to deal more damage against glowing enemies, I will have Glow Sight. But again, Green Thumb at all times is probably equipped for me more often than not. Then we got Endurance. Again, I got that extra point here with the legendary perk card, and that's allowed me to put in another point of Life Giver. So I have 4 in Life Giver to give me plus 45 more health. And keeping in mind as well that because Life Giver requires 4 points and you're putting another 4 points in Endurance, you get even more health from that. You get an additional 5 HP for every point in Endurance. So technically, Life Giver is kind of giving you 65 more HP, which is why I like it. But if I want to swap that in and out, because I usually swap between Life Giver and Ironclad, I can't for the life of me decide, and I'll go to 4 for that, I can't for the life of me decide which I prefer more, whether it's having the more damage and energy resistance while not wearing power armor, or while having more health, because I'm leaning towards Life Giver more. I feel like just having slightly more health, being below 20%, just means I survive a little bit better than Ironclad, but to me, they're interchangeable. I just want something to help me with my survivability, so it's either Life Giver or Ironclad equipped for my character. But what I always have equipped is Rejuvenated, because having the increased benefit from being well fed or well hydrated, means I have even more health and means I have even more AP regen. So Rejuvenated for me is such a great perk card. I underestimated it for way too long, so that is always in there for me. If I'm in power armor, this is probably what I have equipped at all times, because Ironclad does not apply in power armor, so I need Life Giver to have even more health, and again, Rejuvenated is at all times for me. But if I want to take out Life Giver for whatever reason, again, probably Ironclad is the first one that goes in. Maybe I put in like Radical and Adamantium Skeleton or Fireproof, just depending on what I'm doing, although I prefer Asbestos Lining over Fireproof because it's actually way more effective, again, in like the Colossal Problem event with the falling debris. But I usually have Life Giver equipped. And then if I'm in my sneak mode, I actually take out Rejuvenated and I put in Revenant, because I showed you in my last video that having Revenant when you're taking on Earl Williams and when you die falling down the mine shaft and then you get revived with a life-saving piece of armor or two, Revenant activates and then you do more damage against Earl, and when you're sneaking, it's a crazy amount of damage and you can kill Earl very fast that way. So Revenant is my sneaky perk card when I'm doing a sneak build, but this is usually what I have here. When it comes to Charisma, at all times, it's usually Stranger Numbers, because it increases the effects of my positive mutations by 25%, which is awesome, and I always share Stranger Numbers. I know people don't like that sometimes, but it's a really good perk card for 1 point, and I can share it, so why not, right? And all my positive mutations that I'll cover in a second are just that much stronger. And then, because of the new season, I want more XP, so Inspirational is always equipped, and I'm always in a team, so I like getting that additional XP. If I want to deal more damage, no matter what build I'm doing, I will do Tenderizer. So if I'm in power armor, I usually have Tenderizer. If I'm in the sneak build, I'll usually have Tenderizer. And if I'm in my normal armor and I just want to deal more damage, again, I will have Tenderizer. If I'm doing Encrypted with the Imposter Sheep Squatch, then I'll equip Suppressor to reduce the damage output of the Imposter Sheep Squatch a little bit to try and survive a bit more. But those are the 3 perk cards I usually have. Travel Agent is there, but to be honest, I don't really use that much anymore. I just can't be bothered to equip it to get, less fast traveling cost. But I will put back Inspirational because that definitely is my main one. Then we have Intelligence. So of course I have Nerd Rage. So while I'm below 20% health, I get more damage resistance, damage, and AP regen. Fundamental for me. Again, I use Bloodied Explosive Weapons. So whether it's my Gatling gun or my Gauss minigun, they both benefit from Demolition Expert, so I get even more damage, which is nice. And then when I'm out of power armor in my regular build, I'll have batteries included because it helps me with my energy ammo costs, which is nice. But if I'm in power armor, I'll of course take that out and I will put in Stabilize because it gives me better accuracy with my heavy guns, and then I ignore 45% of armor, and that's like the main thing that I use for the Scorch Beast Queen, which is really cool. But if I'm in my sneak mode, I'll actually take out these. I'll put in Gunsmith because I use a Bloodied Fast 5 Flamer, which is fully modded for my sneak build, and that its condition just goes down so quickly when you're constantly firing it, and I find that I need Gunsmith to be able to use it in a full fight without needing to repair it with a repair kit. So Gunsmith is used in that circumstance, and then I'll probably have like batteries included because Flamer ammo, again, which is what I use in the sneak build, is energy ammo, so that helps me with my carry weight. But for now, I'm just going to put back in Demo Expert because that's usually my go-to. So Agility has taken a huge change for me because of that new sneak build. But when I'm just doing regular stuff, I'll have adrenaline, and I usually have adrenaline at all times. So for each kill that I get more damage with max 60%, which is nice. I'll always have dodgy because I have a lot of AP and I'm a blooded build, so reducing incoming damage at the cost of AP is amazing for me. Dodgy is probably one of my most important perk cards in terms of survivability, probably next to blocker. So I highly recommend dodgy if you're finding yourself dying a lot. And then I'll have evasive, again, in my normal build out of power armor because it gives me some sort of damage and energy resistance. And this is the only perk card that I have to give me a bit of boost in that regard. So I'm happy to have evasive here. Then I've started using gun fu because I like to use VATS with my blooded explosive Gatling gun. I use unyielding armor with a blooded build, so I have a lot of AP to use VATS a lot with that gun. So having VATS swap target on kill with plus 10, 20, and 30% damage to my next 3 targets just means that I deal extra damage. And I do have an extra point here in agility, and I'll explain why in a second, but I just use dead man sprinting so I can sprint faster. But let's say I'm doing my stealth build. So I'll get rid of that, I'll get rid of that, I'll get rid of that. And then I'll add in covert operative to increase my range sneak damage. And then I'll add in sneak so to ensure that I'm harder to detect. And then my last one is escape artist so that I can sneak to lose enemies. And that's what I used again in my last video against Earl Williams to be able to kill him in 34 seconds. So that obviously is not going to be the case probably when it comes to the new patch, but I still like having these perk cards and being able to equip them if I ever want to do a sneak build against boss enemies like Earl Williams. But then let's say I'm in power armor. It gets a little bit more tricky here. Again, I keep adrenaline and dodgy at all times. I then add in Action Boy to give me some more AP regen because in power armor I have way less AP, so that's way more important. And then this is where it gets tricky for me, but I will probably add not escape artist, sorry, where is it? Dead man sprinting. I had a little bit of a brain fart there. I'll add dead man sprinting just to be able to run a little bit faster in power armor because it feels slow anyway, so I like to have that there. And then I have an additional 3 points, so I'll probably just put in like gun fu because sometimes I use a little bit of VATS in power armor, not that much, but it's the only real perk card that I can equip that isn't useless because evasive doesn't work in power armor. In power armor I am not sneaking, so none of these have any use, and then marathoner doesn't apply in power armor, so it's not the most optimized, but admittedly I'm not in power armor that often, so I'd rather have the perk cards there for my sneak build and for my regular build because that's when I'm, that's what I'm using more often than power armor. So let's get rid of that, and then I want to add in my regular perk cards. So it's that, and then it's what else do I have? Gun fu, and then dead man sprinting. I keep forgetting about that perk card. Anyway, luck, bloody mess, more damage, great. Starch genes, I never lose my mutations, I never gain any new ones. Serendipity, when I'm below 30% health, I gain almost half a chance to avoid damage at all times. Serendipity is so great. And then again, I have an additional 3 points because of the legendary luck perk card. So I either have one gun army so that my heavy guns have a stagger chance and I can cripple a limb, or if I'm doing the sneak build, I'll probably have what's probably the one that I'll have? Probably quick hands. Where is quick hands? I do not have quick hands. I need to add that. Let's go here. Let's go here. All right. Put that there. All right. God, I can't believe I don't have quick hands. Quick hands, because when I'm trying to kill Earl Williams as fast as possible, if I can quickly reload without needing to go through the reload animation, that is great. So quick hands is also something that I think about. There's so many good perk cards in luck, man. It's amazing. So I've already covered one gun army. Ricochet is the one that I use if I'm in power armor because serendipity isn't applicable. But Ricochet is not my most favorite perk card, if you will. But let's say I am in power armor, I will have to take out serendipity, and I'll put in Ricochet, and I'll put in probably Class Freak. There's a bunch of other ones that help as well. Better Criticals, probably not. Critical Savvy, probably not. Grim Reaper Sprint, probably not, because I don't use VATS that often in power armor. Or it's one gun army. So if I'm versing the Scorch Beast Queen, for instance, I'll take out probably Class Freak and put in one gun army, or I'll take out Ricochet if I don't need it and put in Class Freak. It's a weird combination of those perk cards, but there's a lot of good perk cards in luck that I like to mess around with at all times. But let's take out those. I usually have Bloody Mess, Starch Jeans, and Serendipity there, and just any other perk card here, just depending on the situation. Like, I like better criticals when I'm using my Gatling gun because my criticals do more damage. I also like critical savvy because critical hits only consume 55% of my critical meter, so I can use criticals more. So it just depends what I'm doing. There's a lot. Grim Reaper's Sprint. Any kill in VATS has a chance to restore all my action points. I really like that when I'm just regularly playing the game, because if I have more action points, then Dodgy activates more, and then I'm more survivable in that sense. So luck is a weird one for me. I have a lot of perk cards there that I'm just constantly experimenting with. But anyways, let's get rid of this because now I don't need that. And we'll cover my legendary perk cards. Where are my legendary perk cards? There they are. So, legendary perk cards. These are the ones that I am using. I'm using Funky Duds to give me poison damage resistance when wearing a full set of armor, which is great because as a bloodied build, poison damage can kill you very quickly. Then taking one for the team, so enemies take more damage when they attack you if you're on a team. So if I get hit, then the enemy that we're fighting will take more damage, and that means we can kill that enemy faster. So I really like taking one for the team. Legendary Strength, again, to be able to equip that extra perk card. Legendary Luck, to be able to equip an extra perk card. Ammo Factory, that is the first one I'm ranking up to its max because, look at these ads. Stop seeing the ad, Google. I don't use ad blocker. Anyways, Ammo Factory is what I'm ranking out first because I use a lot of prime ammo or ultrasight ammo, especially with my prime Gauss minigun and the ultrasight 2mm ammo, and you can't produce that when it comes to your ammo converter and also the the Raider machine that produces ammo for you automatically. You know what I'm talking about. Those two things, neither of them produced prime ammo, so all I can really use is Super Duper, Ammo Smith, and now Ammo Factory to be able to produce way more prime ammo without having to, the ads keep popping up, without having to grind so much for materials. So Ammo Factory for me is going to be a must-have. And then I just have 1 point of Legendary Endurance. I might take that away, and the ones that I've been thinking about, well, that gets rid of the ad. The ones that I'm thinking about are Power Armor Reboot if I'm in Power Armor, because you revive with full health if you're down in Power Armor, and it doesn't get rid of rads, so it keeps my bloodied build. Follow Through if I'm doing the sneak build, so my range sneak damage increases, which is really, really nice for a certain period of time. Far Flung Fireworks if I want my enemies to explode. I sometimes have that. Where is it? I'm speaking like I've already used legendary perk cards. I have been playing the PTS a lot. What else might I think about? Legendary Charisma if I want to equip like Tenderizer as well as Inspirational, for instance. What else haven't I covered? Sizzling Style to give me a little bit more fire damage resist, but it's not as useful as the poison damage resist. And I think that's about it. So those are my legendary perks. I reckon these ones I'm going to be using more than any of the other ones that I covered, for now at least, to see how it goes. And I think I have enough, because I have changed my build around a fair bit, so I think I have enough perk cards to scrap to be able to rank these perk cards as I have them here. So 2 here, 2 here, 3 max, and just 1 because I don't rank that up. So those are my legendary perk cards. And then just to cover off my mutations very quickly, Marsupial, so I jump very high. Herbivore, because I like to eat veggies and I don't want to get diseases and I want to have double the benefit. Adrenal Reaction, because I get more weapon damage at low HP. Speed Demon, I move faster and have faster reload. Herd Mentality, I'm always in a team, so having more special stats is really nice. And even if I'm in a private server, I can still join a public team and not get the negative here. Bird Bones, Fall from Heights is more gradual and more agility, which is nice. scaly skin, my damage and energy resistance goes up by 50. And that's about it. I could probably have Plague Walker and Unstable Isotope and Electrically Charge, but I don't find those are super useful. So that is my build. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm probably going to fix it around a little bit more, but let's conclude the video. Alrighty, Wastelanders, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your build's going to be when it comes to the new Fallout 76 update tomorrow, at least by the time I'm recording. Yes, it's only 10 o'clock. It's going to be tomorrow. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.